She's back again. Again. Just like the wind. Just goes and she comes, she comes and she goes, she goes and she comes. Like, what's she doing? I have my pen and my paper here. This video is going to be a serious video, and that's the reason why I decided to come here and talk. Dinma, is that you? And I'm like, yes, it's me. Come give me a hug. Today, I'm going to be highlighting 6 ways to manage your finances. I feel like it's a conversation we need to have because there's a lot going on social media. People commenting, they're depressed, um, they have issues, their bills, all of that stuff. I think this works for anybody, even if you're coming to school, you're coming to work, you're coming on, a spousal visa, whatever it is. I think this is very, very important for you. And this is something that has worked for me and is working for me and will still work for me by the grace of God. And I think this is something you can adopt to help you. Okay. So let's get right into it. So number one thing is have a good money or financial mindset. I know that this is something that sounds like I'm a motivational speaker, but just listen to me a bit and you will understand where I'm coming from. If you're someone who has this money spending mindset, like this spend all I've got mindset, okay, I would call it spend all I've got because sometimes you can actually have so much money and you spend it and it's fine. But if you're someone who has this spend all I've got mindset, I think you need to change that today, okay? I don't care what you think, I don't care who you are, but I think you need to change that today. It is important for you to understand that money sometimes is very most times is very important in making more money for you, okay? If you're someone that every time money comes hits your account, your mindset is, oh, I have to clear out the whole money that is in this account and take it out and give it to somebody else. Because basically, when you're buying something, you're giving it to somebody else. That is a bad mindset. You need to start having the mindset of investment, money growth, of saving. Okay, at least investment and growing money. Sometimes you cannot control that as much because you have to look for what to invest in. You have to think about what to invest in. You have to be careful of what you're investing in. You have to make sure that you know the growth rate and the risk rate, all that kind of balance. But with saving, you can control to an extent what your finances look like. Okay, you can control what that looks like and what that growth looks like. You need to have a good mindset of money and a mindset that grows money and mindsets that like that sees money as an asset that can grow and make money for you rather than a mindset of just spending. When you're leaving a particular place and you're deciding to move to another place, it's because you have a plan to grow yourself, okay? Because you see that you're going to grow as a person in this new place, either in your work, in your school, either in the fact that you're going to be married to somebody and it's going to be a new opportunity of growth. You are moving from one place to the other because it's adding value to an extent to your life, and that's for a conscious move. Unless of course you were dragged and pulled out, that's a different conversation. But I'm just saying, if you're doing a deliberate move, you're taking your family, you're taking yourself from one place to another, or from Nigeria to the the US or Europe, or from Africa to anywhere else, it's because you are seeing a reason for growth. And I want you to be someone who actually sits down, imposes that growth mindset on themselves, and works very, very, very strictly towards it. And I am going to go for a bit deeper into this as I go into my points. But I think that mindset is very important. I think that mindset and that outlook, that mind that thinks, oh, this is where I want to be, and this is how I'm going to get there, that mindset is very, very important. Like a father in the faith that I love so much would usually say, as far as your eyes can see. Okay, one important thing I want to tell you, if you're moving to Europe or you're moving to Ireland specifically, I don't know how it is, I think it's similar in the UK, is don't start financing things that you cannot on a normal day afford. Okay, this is very, very, very important. I don't think this has been flogged enough. I have seen people who go from financing, like, it's fine, you need a car. There are affordable cars, but they go to get cars that are way above their current means or what they can afford in the moment, like in terms of monthly repayment, and then it's it becomes too much for them. I see people that sometimes you're new, okay, and you don't even know how it works yet, and the first thing you're thinking of doing is going to finance a phone because the phone is an iPhone 13, 14. Bear in mind that, first of all, guys, I want to tell you that one of the things that has actually fueled this conversation is a couple of things I've seen online, and also a particular video I saw of a lady. And if you watch the first few parts of her video, I'm going to put it on the screen or in the description box. If you watch the first few parts of her video, she was talking about things that she regretted moving, to the UK, that she did like in the past. She had been in the UK for 3 years, and she was talking about things she regretted. And the first few minutes, guys, which was actually a huge chunk of the video, was talking about this one thing I'm about to mention: financing. I don't know why. We well well trained African children, Nigerian children who have been who know the struggle would come all the way to a different place and decide that we want to lift financing that we cannot handle. You have to be very, very careful with financing on the side of the world. So this lady that I'm talking about was talking about how she first started financing her phone, and I think eventually the company or the provider that she was financing with just all of a sudden told her that, oh, um inflation came through and you have to be paying more than this particular amount every month. And I think she said her bill got up to £300 or more per month. That is crazy. That's a lot of money. I don't care how you see it, it's a lot. If you have the 1,000 euros, please go and buy the iPhone outrightly. If you have the 1,200, please go and buy it outrightly if you know you can chest it. But definitely financing a phone that is probably going to be out of, what's the word? Out of relevance in the next 1 year makes no sense. Okay. And I think she pretty much said it in her video. And I just want to reiterate this. Please, please, please. If you're financing anything, please make sure that you have, I think there's a full calculator for that, but make sure that whatever you're earning every month can cover more than comfortably the cost of that thing that you're financing. These are the things that frustrate you every month, because by the time your bills are minusing and you have to pay for it, you have to pay for it. By the time they're minusing your bill, they will not check if that month you went to the hospital and you spent more, or if you just had like an emergency that month. Nobody's going to check that. They're going to take their money every single month. Please be very careful of what you are financing. One thing you actually want to think about before you finance anything is, what is the value this thing has to me? Is this an asset or is it a liability? So I will go to my next point. Do not live above your means. I think the financing part just tells you what it is. Don't live above your means, okay? If you can afford something, you can afford it in a time. It is what you can afford and it's fine, okay? If people are doing it and you see them doing it and you're asking yourself, like, oh, I need to keep up. How are they doing it? Like, see, some things you will not understand them until you get to that level. Okay. Like when I first moved into Ireland, I used to ask myself, how do people do certain things? Like, how were people able to afford certain things? And over time, after staying in Ireland and understanding how things worked and asking questions, I found how I found out that how I thought it was is not how it was. Okay. Because over time, I think time sort of gives you that leverage to be able to understand the system in such a way that you can man over certain things and you can work with certain things and then you can comfortably afford certain things. I want to tell you that it is a danger if you feel the need to live up. If you're someone who is depressed and oppressed by so many people, like, how they say on social media that this is oppression, like they want to press us, they are pressing us. Stay in your house, switch off your phone, switch off your phone, watch Netflix, okay? Stay in your house and switch off your phone. As in, just pray. Spend time in the secret place and pray, please. Even sometimes I would tell people, live below your means if possible. Yes, if there are things you can typically afford and you think they're not necessary, then you don't have to get them. Okay. There are things that sometimes you can typically afford. You have the money in your account, does not mean you have to spend money on it. Okay. And this is a very huge financial thing that people need to pay attention to. Okay, you have to learn to live within or even below your means, because your first few years coming into a country, which I'm actually currently in the process of, is a very, very crucial time for you. And this actually takes me to my next point, which is sacrifice. It is a very sacrificial time for you. You have to be someone who is ready to sacrifice, save, save, and save. I cannot even I can't even say it way too much. I think like one of the things that have helped a lot of people that I know right now is the fact that they're very, very um very disciplined when it comes to saving. Okay, so I think I would say it's discipline and sacrifice. Ensure that if you tell yourself that every single month in the year I want to save the most basic 500 euros every single month, you put that money away in a place where you cannot touch it. I know that at the early times when I started saving, I would do this thing where I would save money, and as I'm saving it, it's going down. I'm saving it, it's going down. I'm saving it, it's going down. If you're somebody that is in that shoe, please, I want to tell you that you need to gain more discipline in saving. And one good way you can do that, which actually comes to another point that I have here, all my points keep going in together, but it's having an accountability partner. For me, it's my spouse. And honestly, I'm so grateful that he helped me to sort of like try to understand how that works. One good way of doing that is to ensure that you also have an outlook, and which is why I said a lot about the mindset. You have a picture of where you want to be and what is going to take you to get there. So for instance, I will just use this very interesting example. If you tell yourself that you want to maybe buy an investment property in the next 2 years, obviously you have to save for that investment property. You want to start checking like, what is the cost of the investment property in the 2 years? What down payment am I going to put? Maybe 20%. What do the lenders need? What do I require? Like, what are the requirements I need to meet to be able to get there? And in doing that, and in knowing that this is your timeline, and this is what you need to get to be able to get here, you would kind of have it would help you have that discipline of sacrifice, and that discipline to save towards whatever it is that you're thinking about. My last and final one is very trivial and very important, okay? Which is cancel those subscriptions. Don't forget to cancel those subscriptions. Trust me, like when you're living here, it's like living in Europe and living in Africa is so different, or living in Nigeria is so different. Because back in Nigeria, like for instance, my phone bills, my credit, we used to call it credit. Like when you have your phone, you can have a phone and don't have credit. It's fine. Okay, your phone can just be there and people can be able to call you and not have credit. But here, you have to have paid your phone bills, and it kind of like comes tied together. Like it's some people get it on a contract. I prefer personally, I don't think I have mine on a contract. I just pay monthly. Some people pay like bi monthly or 3 times a month, or 3 months in one, something like that. And like it's just those things are recurring bills. Okay, those ones that obviously you need to interact with people. It's not like financing that is optional. This one is actually needed for your daily interaction and everything. That is one. But what I would say is, you see all those Netflix, Amazon Prime, kini subscription you people just have everywhere. Please, dear, if you can stick to Netflix and YouTube, do that by all means. Okay, I'm so lucky to, probably have family around, and what we usually would do is to sort of like share it amongst ourselves. And they have like family plans, and we can do the family plans, and they're actually pretty much nice. They're nice to do that. In terms of like what the costs might come up to at the end, that's something you probably want to think about. If you have family, sharing with family on this end, or wherever end you're at. But I would say like maybe Netflix and Amazon Prime are still fair, but you see all those really nice apps on, like, I noticed one thing, that when I crossed the border, all of the apps that I used to use for free, I used to get away with in Nigeria, are just thickly priced. Okay, they are just expensively priced. Okay, and for some reason you just find that you have to pay, like for some of them you pay 4 euros per month, some of them you pay 10 euros per month, some of them you pay, before you know it, like you're paying like 60, 80, 100 euros on subscriptions every month. What I did in the last month was to detox my phone. So I went back and I sort of went to the subscription part of, if you use an iPhone, you probably would see a subscription part when you go to like the to like your, I know there's in the settings you find a subscription part, and I went there and I cleared out all of the, there's so many subscriptions that just come and they just take your money for no good reason. So just make sure that you try not to subscribe to things that you don't subscribe. You see all those people that trap you with 7 days free trial, 8 days free trial, 1 week free trial, 2 weeks free trial. Do not subscribe. Okay, use look for something else. Look for something else, a web page, something that is free, and try not to subscribe, because trust me, those annoying tiny subscriptions. Like my grandfather would usually say, drops of water make an ocean. So you see those tiny, 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 tiny subscriptions that you get, they are so annoying and they can drain your finances. I know that you think it sounds so small, but trust me, on the months where you're just like, where did all that money go? You just realize that, see, those subscriptions are suckers. They're blood suckers. Okay, so I think that's like one thing that I just wanted to put out there as just like my final like thoughts on finances. I think there's so many aspects of it as I go through my stay here, as I stay longer and longer, I find that I'm beginning to understand certain things a bit more. Some of these things I probably didn't like understand. Like, I kind of maybe like had an idea of, well, I think I understand him now further. So one thing I also want to tell you is that, especially with your finances, sometimes time would balance things out. Okay, as long as you're doing everything right, as long as you're, you're working, you're getting paid, you're working hard, and you're sort of like trying as much as possible to maintain discipline, understand sacrifice, to have that mindset that for growth, and you're looking into different investment opportunities. Trust me, I think time pretty much would help you adjust your finances. I think that's one thing that happens. Like when you look at some of the people that have been where you are for a long, long time, go to general gatherings and you will definitely see those people that are people that would inspire you and that have like little nuggets to let you know about how they got to where they are and they're doing well. Those people would pretty much be an inspiration to you, and they would be people that would help you through your growth process. I'm very grateful for the friends that God has given me in this country now. Their moms, their dads, they are part of like my church environment, and they're very, very helpful when I have questions. They've been here like slightly longer than me or even way longer than me, and they're very happy to answer questions. So I want to tell you to go to your local church, go to your local community, meet other people that are doing well and ask them how. Never be afraid to ask how. Never be afraid. I see, people around me will know that I ask too many questions. Maybe I even ask way too much, way too more than I'm supposed to ask. But I find that I never lose my way when I ask questions. I always call up my friends. I always call up people that I know that are great backbones to me. Shout out to them. They know themselves. They're like the best, to be honest. Shout out to them. Shout out to them for always. One day I'm going to actually call all their names on this channel. But shout out to them for being such a support system. I am so grateful to all of them. I am so grateful to all of you guys for always being there for me. Most of all, I'm not going to stop this channel or go off this channel without saying pray and be close to God, because I think that with the way the world is going these days, it's just God that can give you that financial direction and that direction to your life that seems clear. Because look at the way COVID-19 will happen. Like nobody knew that was gonna happen. Like things just things just happened overnight, and I'm sure people had plans that didn't fulfill. But people were still, even in that COVID-19 time, having success stories. So at the end of the day, I feel and I strongly feel, and nobody can tell me anything about it. God is a good factor and a huge factor to our successes as his children. I
And
want to say good shout out. I can't thank you guys enough. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for asking your questions. Thank you for, just thanking God on my behalf. I mean, I posted my testimony video a long time ago and a couple of videos a long time ago, but still the interaction has been real. The thank God for your life has been real. The God is going to bless you continuously has been real. People have just been, sending me messages, and I always show my husband some of them, I show my family some of them, and it lights up my day, and I'm so grateful. I have to even tell you, I had to come back on here because I had to keep telling you guys that God is still in the business of doing something amazing. And I've actually interacted, I've met people physically that met me on YouTube that I never met before. Like I've met them physically and they'll be like, Dinma, is that you? And I'm like, yes, it's me. Come give me a hug. And I'm so excited. I'm so grateful for what this platform has actually done for me. I know that it can be weird for like a few people, but for me, it's been really amazing. And like finding people that I get to interact with a lot. Some people that have moved from back home to Ireland recently and are now coming to my church, are now part of my community. I'm so grateful for that. And I won't take that for granted. So I wanted to ensure that I say thank you, Dalu, thank you, Eshe, thank you to all of you guys that are just always interacting and are still going to be interacting with my channel. I hope this video has helped you. I hope I did not just because I like to talk. And if you are yet to subscribe to my channel, please smash the subscribe button, because if you have watched this video up until now, you're a family member, okay? So smash the subscribe button, smash the like button, share with someone who you think is probably moving very soon, or is about to move, or who has just moved, who can benefit from this video, because I think this is a very important topic. Okay, guys, bye.